Get paid, little shorty, get paid. 100,000 in the safe, couple thousand in the drain. Get paid, little shorty, get paid. No, I'm always on my grind, 24 for 7 days. Favorite color, money green. Paper. I've been on my grind since I was in the 7th grade. Had my first kid, I was only 17. Always a provider for my pack like Wolverines. But you won't find me on the mountaintop. Need no calculator, I can weigh it cause it kinda lot. Always on my top around that paper like a Michael Scott. Your boyfriend is Dwight, he want my spot, he always round a lot. Get paid, little shorty, get paid. 100,000 in the safe, couple thousand in the jeans. Get paid, little shorty, get paid. No, I'm always on my grind, 24 for 7 days. Get paid, little shorty, get paid. Get paid, yeah, yeah, get the money, yeah. Get paid, little shorty, get paid. Get paid, yeah, yeah, get the money, yeah.
Hey. Good evening, Shane.
Good morning, how are you?
What do you mean, good morning? We're live. We're live. We're live.
It's all good morning now. It all blends into one.
Something different about you.
I've had my haircut. Hey.
How have you managed to do that?
Luckily, my partner's my fiance, should I say, is a hairdresser, or was a hairdresser.
Oh.
So, yeah, happy days. How are you? Good week? Good day?
Actually finished the course then. When did we do the live? We did it on Tuesday, didn't we?
Yeah. One of the days, ending in day, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good live that was on Caravan, something different. And I thought Mark answered some really good questions, mate. Really good.
He did actually, yeah. And that other guy called Lee, I'm not sure if we'll have him on again.
I don't know about
no.
I can easily describe tonight's show. It's either going to be great or we're going to just crash and burn tonight.
Hopefully both.
Who've we got on?
Well, we've got lovely gentleman. He's very polite, very posh. He's called Jason. Jason R. No, Jason F. Jason F. You're Jason R. Jason F. from Front Motorhomes. He's a southerner, very much so. And Forefront, one of the biggest, or probably the biggest used dealer in the country, would you say? You got some stock down there.
They buy a lot of stock, mate. They just go for it. They obviously did the cars to start on with, so it'll be quite interesting actually to listen about the crossover.
I know, because they are completely different, really. Yeah. You know, with cars, you're just thinking about the bodywork condition and engine, whereas motorhomes, that's probably the last on your list, really.
Yeah. If you want to be on the show, dead simple. Pick the phone up. Join me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, which is Caravans and Campers at SY45RP. Just send me a DM. Just follow me. You can also do exactly the same on Instagram at the Motorhome Man. Your questions, if you want to be on the show, any YouTubers out there, any other different dealers out there, we want to try and get as many different people on to read all different sides of the industry. So please get in touch. Another way you can get in touch, Shane?
Yep, the Motorhome Show at gmail.com.
We've got posh, haven't we, mate?
We have gone posh. We've got Gmail account and everything in it.
Hey, look at that, the Motorhome Show at Gmail. You can't forget that, can you?
No.
Not at all. So don't forget as well, what we want also is take a photograph of your motorhome, or do a quick 30-second or 1 minute video reviewing your motorhome, and we'll have a look and we'll put it on. Just like Stephen Hayward did. His 1996 Autosleep Amethyst. Great van chain.
Yeah, I mean, that was in my earlier days of motorhomes, but yeah, you can't beat the monocoques.
No, really can't. They built well inside as well, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Look at that. Nobody about. Everybody's social distancing.
I know.
Nobody.
Lovely blue sky. It's just like today.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, mate. That's true. Definitely. What are we up to now? Oh, Lee. I have got Lee back for you.
Oh, no.
Now, look, we have got the guru. No. I'm going to call him the buddy of motorhome advice, because he's starting to look like him now, isn't he?
I started back training today.
So, okay, everybody, get your questions in. We're going to get Lee up throughout the show, answering all the questions. So, any different advice, the harder the questions, the better. But just anything really, just basics, any types on motorhome, caravan questions. Just basically, just get them in, and then Lee will pop up and just answer any of the questions. Okay, Lee?
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, glad you're enthusiastic tonight.
I've been in the sun all day.
All right, mate. Okay, shall we kick the show off?
Yeah, let's go for it.
What is it today?
What?
Is it today?
It's VE Day. Very big celebrations today. There's been a lot of people on the streets around me. I probably see more neighbours today than I've done in the last 3 years of living in this house. Which is really nice to see. Everybody's had the flags out. Everybody's been celebrating, talking, get a bit of sanity back, a bit of communication.
Yeah. Lily decided to do some flags last night as well and used all the ink up on the printer. So, shall we kick it off, mate? Shall we get started with VE Day?
Yes, let's go.
Let's do it. Proud of you there, Shane.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job. Great way to start the show, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, a bit of a tribute to the VE. Do you want to bring on our only guest? Do you want to introduce him in, mate?
Here's Jason.
Hi, chaps.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. That was a powerful introduction with the VE Day. That actually moved me. That my hairs on my arms are up. That was really good. Well done, chaps. Pardon me.
You're already on the show, mate. You don't have to compliment us.
Oh no! I haven't started yet. But the beginning was really good. So well done. That was really good.
Yeah, he's done a great job there, Shane. It's a really good job. It was touching, mate. They wanted last minute.
Well, that's really good. One of my staff members, Peter, is ex-military, and yeah, really good, really good. So well done. Anyway, apart from that, what have you got in store?
Just a quickie, lads. Just going on to something. Did any of you see the Banksy drawing that I think he donated it to Southampton Hospital?
Oh no, I didn't. But have you got it there to see? Because I like a bit of Banksy.
I have.
Oh, I like that.
You see the nurse flying, and then it's when you look down at the bit where it hits home.
Yeah, it's because they're making the nurse into Superwoman.
Yeah, what a great creative mind there, Jason.
Oh, didn't listen. Banksy just nails it every single time. I live near Brighton, and there's a couple of Banksys up down there, and there's the images of the police officers and with flowers and everything else.
He's nailed that, hasn't he?
He's just awesome. I actually met someone on holiday about 5-6 years ago that actually liked a bit of whiskey, and he went ranting on one night that he actually knew Banksy, and Banksy used to go to his house with his wife. So yeah, it was quite an interesting chat and conversation that was, because Banksy's incredibly secretive, isn't he? He's not known to be out in the public face as such, is he?
Yeah. Okay, get some quickies going. We've got available today. Hello, Dirty Trucker. Hi, all. We have Phil Humphreys. Good evening, Jason and Shane. Happy VE Day. Evening, gents. Okay, where are they? We're here. Available today again. Magic. He must have been on about your video there, mate. Russ Finn. Evening, Jason Shane. Good job. Your name's is Jason as well. So
yeah. Hi, everyone.
Get some questions into Jason, shall we, Shane? What do you want to ask him, mate?
Yes. All right. Where do we start? So, Forefront. Tell us about it.
Privately owned company.
Yep.
It's quite a big company for being privately owned. There are 4 showrooms, 3 of them based up in London, Sidcup and Mottingham. And then we obviously have the main base in West Sussex, which is the Motorhome Depot. But it's a large company these days to still be owned by, a private individual who works very, very hard, incredibly hard. He's actually a workaholic, which makes it hard for the rest of us. Got to admit it. But yeah, it's it's a good company. It's fun. There's so many different elements of the company with different stock, different varieties of vehicles, individual to the showrooms, be it Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Skoda, Mini, whatever it may be. But yeah, it's to me anyway, because I love the car industry and have done for too many years, 29 years, 30 years this year. Yeah, I still find it as fun. So I'm boring in the car industry and motorhome world. I actually enjoy it. So it makes a difference. It's not like you're dragging your feet to work.
So how long have you been doing the motorhomes? When did the transition go?
Oh, well, the transition happened quite a long time ago without me really realizing, if I'm honest. Gary Brown, the owner, the proprietor of Forefront, has always had a massive passion with motorhoming and exploring. The man will go off for a month per year.
Yeah.
He'll work every single day until he goes away, and he usually does it for 4 or 5 weeks. And he will literally explore the back and beyond of everywhere he goes. And it started really from when he brought back an American RV, I think it was a 3 wins. It was a triple slider. I remember it being a triple slider. And that really started it all off. I was more headstrong on what I was doing and running a business in West Sussex with the 4x4s. Gary was slowly but surely building stock up on the motorhomes over a good number of years. And then it really pushed forward probably about 4 or 5 years ago. But we've always done motorhomes, but not to the standard or the amount
Scale.
we're doing now. Yeah, the scale we're doing now. It's taken over. It really has, but in a great way.
Yeah, I can remember. I think he did a tour over in America with that RV before he brought it back and then sold it. I can remember him saying
Yellowstone. I think he's done Yellowstone. He's done here. He's done that. Don't forgive me. My geography is bad, but believe you me, if you had a conversation with that man, he will probably tell you about that state to this state, to what he did and how he went about it. But he's not one for going to hotels and relaxing by the pool. He is literally on the go. He's on the move all the time, and that's his idea of a holiday. And so that's where it transferred over to his passion for motorhoming, really, I suppose, more than anything.
And how have you found the transfer? Has it been quite easily, or?
It's to be honest with you, it was started up on that side. I still had the 4x4 side, and it slowly built up. I must admit, I was headstrong on what I was doing with the 4x4s. I had a strong passion for what I was doing. We'd spent a lot of time, Gary and I, when we worked together, when I first started, I've been with Gary nearly 10 years. And we were a team. We were really good at doing the buying, the selling, the preparation, getting it all ready. We obviously had everyone else around us, but it was me and him that were really gunning for it to make everything work. And obviously it's the same with the Motorhome. So yeah, it's gone boom.
Yeah. And I mean, what sort of stock do you carry? How many?
Well, we'll go anything up to about 130 motorhomes. We're a touch under stock because we were flying from Christmas. I mean, it's quite funny because I'm new into it. Gary's not. We expect to have we expected to have the slow periods. I really have got birdsong going on in my ears. I don't know where that's coming from. Someone got a window open.
Probably me.
It's always you. What do you mean? Probably it's always you.
I'm bringing nature to the show.
It's nature. It's either the toilet flushing or the kids or doing something. I don't know.
Nature.
Anyway, so yeah, everything is the transition went quite quick. It took obviously a good amount of time, obviously scaling down on the 4x4s. The London branches were still going very fast with everything they were doing. And yeah, the motorhomes, it's a new experience for, more for me. But I'm enjoying it. If I'm honest, I'm really enjoying it because it's like a new lease of life, a new vocation. You've been selling cars and 4x4s for 20 odd years, 25 years. It was a nice learning curve. I've got a lot to learn, but I'm enjoying it. I really am enjoying it.
The thing about it, Jace, every day's a school day, mate. Every day.
Oh, you know. Yeah, if I think if anyone could turn around and say they know it all, they're going to go to work bored, aren't they? They're just going to be bored. As soon as they turn up, I'm bored. I know it all,
Yeah.
But it's same, for instance, with cars and 4x4s, anything with four wheels, really. My education from a young age, before I even left school, was I used to sink my head into an auto trader. I knew every car. I know every model. I know every this, every that. I know the prices of everything. And yeah, I'm just kind of doing that again now, but in a different setup, being with the motorhomes. So yeah, it's something new, something great, and I'm enjoying it. And obviously, without picking you two up because we're on the show, but good company, good chat. When I see you, it's nice to meet people like yourselves. There's a few more of you.
I've got to crack it. Here is right. You're going to break your virginity.
Waffling on. What?
Right, you're going to answer your first comment. Are you ready for this? Are you ready?
Oh, God, all right, go on then. Hit me with it.
When buying a used motorhome from a dealer for about 25 grand, is it okay to offer 2 or 3 grand less?
Well, listen, anyone can make an offer. Of course they can. They're entitled to make an offer. But no, there isn't that kind of margin. Listen, do you know what it is? You never go, no. What you'll do with that customer is you actually laugh and you actually bring them back round to understanding there isn't those kind of margins left in vehicles anymore as such, especially with the preparation and everything else that's involved with motorhomes. But at least you can ask. You might get lucky with some main dealer that's trying to get rid of some old stock, and they can do those deals. But usually with used motorhomes, they're already priced ready to go. They're prepared. And that's it. So there isn't that kind of margin. You might be able to nibble some, maybe a couple £100, £500, and maybe the rare occasion £1,000 if it's been in stock a while.
What's your answer to that, Shane?
I mean, I'm not really on the retail side. I'm just going off what you boys say, really. Yeah, I'll probably say this. Some people are really cheeky. To be
That'd
blunt.
be me when I'm trying to buy them from you.
Yeah. I mean, we had a question. I think it was yesterday. £9,000 below what it was up for.
Yeah, but then that kind of offers, it doesn't even. It's not even worth giving them a reasonable answer, is it?
No.
Just stop. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think you answered that really well, Jason, actually. And I think one of the biggest points you came across is, like you say, there ain't the profit margins in them if you're gonna send the vans out right, i.e. with your servicing, your cam belts, your habitations, your valeting, your aftercare, you're looking after.
The responsibility for 6 months, it's everything there. I mean, we're responsible for a lot longer than 6 months, not legally, but we're there to help the customer. And sometimes people just don't entertain the overall cost, the overheads of running a company and advertising, it's horrifying. Literally about, without me getting boring, but about 4 or 5 years ago, we literally went to work for nothing. We paid everything, we did everything. No one was kept waiting with any payments. We didn't make any money, and no one understands the amount of hard work that's put into it, especially the owner. And he's like, hang on, I did all year. I've paid the VAT, I've paid the tax, I've paid the wages, I've paid the stuff. I've done everything. Where's mine?
Yeah, it's like when people they'll go to me and they'll go, oh, you've just sold a 30 grand van. Well, hang on, I've just brought one in there at 40 and one in there at 55.
Yeah. If you understood, well, listen, guys, I know you understand overheads. Shane, I know you've got overheads. You've got a unit, you've got advertising, you've got this. Especially yourself, Jason, you've got yourself a site, you've got your offices, you've got your staff, you've got everything, you've got your advertising all taken into place, and you know how much it costs to run it. But when you get to, without me blowing any form of trumpet, because I'm not doing that, but bigger doesn't always mean better.
No.
So when you're at our quantity of stock, it's a lot of money to keep everything going. I mean, our advertising bill, to give you an idea, across the company, is over 25,000 a month.
Yeah.
And that's the whole business. There's 4 enterprises there, part of the Forefront group. But I don't even want to go on about all the other bills without all the staff. And even keeping something clean, it just costs money. And that's all it comes down to. And you're saying this to a customer, and the customer's literally getting out the violin. But as long as you can have a laugh with that customer, and I generally 9 times out of 10, I will have a laugh with a customer. It makes it easier. I will turn the situation around. I will make the poor me, and he will understand. And we get on and move on and do our best to get them into what they need, not what I'm trying to sell them. What they need.
Can I just bring Liam a second? Hi, Lee.
You all right, mate?
Yeah, I did have an email the other day, and it basically says, how do I know my batteries are charging off my hookup? I assume it's medium pressure and vehicle.
Leisure battery. If you plugged into your electric hookup, there's several ways of really checking whether it's charging. It all depends on what sort of setup you've got. The easiest way will be to check at your battery with a multimeter. That way you've got a certain voltage there when you switch the charger on and off. So you'll see the voltage actually rise and fall. You can use a clamp meter with a lead, like we do for testing when we're doing a service. But for your general public, I would say voltmeter, checking at the battery. Your other ways would be your display on the wall. Switch your charger off. If you've got a digital display, that's got the dial on it, you can switch the charger on. You'll see the voltage rise on there. One thing you've got to be aware of is how good your battery is. If you've got a dodgy battery, you may not be getting the output that you would expect from the charger because the battery is low already and it's trying to charge a duff battery. So
how would you know that, Lee?
Again, that would need you to disconnect the battery and have the battery tested. That'd be the best way to do it.
Do you know one thing I do to test the battery? When I get a van and I want to check it off, what I tend to do is put a hookup in it overnight, and then when I come in the next day, I'll take the hookup out and just put all the lights on and just see how long the battery lasts. Yeah,
that's a simple test for checking your battery. Most vans now have got intelligent chargers which charge initially from 14 to about 14.4 volts. Once they get up to full charge, they'll drop them down to about 13.7 to 13.9 volts. Once you switch that charger off and you've switched those lights on, it should quite quickly come down to around about 12.5 volts. You can soon tell whether a charger's working if you've got displays. If you've got a Sargent unit with a little digital display on it, you can press the select button. It'll tell you exactly what your charger's putting out.
I think your best way is what you said, to just put a multimeter on.
Yeah, it's the best surefire way to know what your charger's putting out is to disconnect the leads from the battery, make sure they don't touch, obviously, put a voltmeter on it, switch your charger on, and you'll get exactly what your charger's putting out.
I've had one coming on Instagram. How are AutoTrails servicing motorhomes now, and are they extending the date to get it serviced by, Lee?
Right, that is one that I've actually just been looking about 5 minutes ago for AutoTrails. I've actually done a list here of where people are with updates for servicing and what's going on during the current situation. AutoSleeper and AutoTrail, I've not been able to find out any info on as yet, but I have got a list for all the others. Do you want me to go through them now?
Yeah, will you be putting them on Facebook as well, mate?
I'm going to put them on my Facebook page tomorrow, and then I'll keep it updated as and when I can get more info. But as it stands,
just quickly, so if anybody wants to check tomorrow, it's on Facebook. It's LB Caravan Services Limited. He's putting everything on there for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, matey, far away.
All right. So as it stands at the moment, Adria have updated theirs, and they have now got 3 months from registration. So your date of registration obviously has to be serviced annually. They've extended theirs now to 3 months. Bailey have extended their warranty grace period to 4 months. Benimar, I've still not got anything for. Coachman have got 90 days from when the restrictions are lifted. That's a bit of a dodgy one because, you know,
Yeah.
when do they count as restrictions lifted in what way? So, but that's what they're saying for their warranty period is they want 90 days from restrictions lifted. Irwin Heimer Group, which is Eldis and Heimers, etc., as soon as possible from the lockdown finishing. They're not give a definitive date. Hobby have extended by 90 days. Luna, not finding out much info for. I've been on their website too. Mobile Veta and Roller Team, I've still not got anything for. Swift have extended theirs by 4 months, and Nouse have extended theirs by 6 months.
Yeah, I think I had a look the other day. Chaisson and Burster, I think they're up to 6 months as well. I had to go to their Facebook page to find that, but that's what they put up for them, which is good.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I'll put all those on my Facebook page tomorrow, and like I said, as I find out more info, I'll keep them updated. But yeah, most of them, well, everyone really is honouring warranty. What I would say is, if you are worried, speak to your dealer and inform them. You know, obviously that you've not been able to get it during lockdown period, and explain that it'll be serviced as soon as possible. That's the best way to go, really.
Who can do them services, Lee?
Right. There's a list. Obviously, I'm an approved workshop. Now, I get all the time, are you Swift approved? Are you Bailey approved, etc., etc. Any approved workshop, whether they're mobile or fixed, can service the following vans: AutoSleepers, AutoTrail, Adrias, Bailey, Benimar, Coachman, all the Ermenheimer Group, Hobby, Luna, Mobile Veta, Roller Team, and Swift. Now, I'm also a member of the Mobile Caravan Engineers Association, and they have also got the servicing authority to do Nouse. Now, it won't be just a case of contact your local MCEA guy to do that service. They have to be approved by the actual MCEA as well to be able to do them. So yeah. So sorry.
Definitely approved then.
Yeah. Anyone who's an approved workshop can service any of those vehicles. AutoSleeper is the only one that's a bit iffy. You need approval from the AutoSleeper themselves. You know, I've got a customer who I've serviced for a few years. They brought this rule out that all of a sudden it's got to go back to a dealer, and he said, you know, no, Lee's done it for the last few years. I want him to carry on, and they were happy to do that. But AutoSleeper, you have got to get authorization for your dealer, but they will recognise the approved workshop scheme.
Okay. Did you pick up any questions in the comments at all, Lee?
Yeah, we got a couple come in. We've had one from Availability Today inquiring about Euro travel. If you're going to Europe this year, how would you travel? Eurotunnel or ferry because of the situation? will we get out this year, to Europe? That's the big question. If you were going to be going, for me personally, I would say Eurotunnel is probably the safest way to go. I think if you were to get on a ferry, chances are you'll be, probably confined to your van anyway, the same as you would be on Eurotunnel. So, yeah, I would say Eurotunnel if I was going to be heading off to Europe.
I think I'd go for that as well, Lee. Shane?
Yeah, definitely Eurotunnel. It's for a start. It's a lot quicker.
Jace?
That's true.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
What are
definitely.
you lasting?
100%.
What are you lasting?
No. I'm just listening. I'm listening and enjoying the show.
Now you know.
It's Lee's time, not mine. It's Lee's
now you know motorhomes have 2 batteries.
Oh, don't be like that. That's just being mean. I was going to say, I bet if Lee was in the Scouts, he definitely had every badge go down his arm, didn't he? More certificates than a Scout leader. Dip.
Sorry,
I've got one other regarding batteries that's coming from Ivan Sackville. He's asking, would you say lithium batteries are worth the money with fast recharging time and the ability to run them down to, say, 10%? That is, lithium batteries are super expensive. Majority of people don't use a battery as such. They've normally got a hookup. People who do tend to wild camp and are only running off a battery have normally got a solar panel on. So it's an individual thing, that really. Me personally, I wouldn't waste my money on a lithium battery because for what I spend off grid, I've got a 120 watt solar panel that puts enough charging. So yeah, I wouldn't say so personally.
There's just another one coming again. What is an ideal level for the leisure battery not being connected to an electric on a motorhome?
If your battery is not connected to the electric, it should be sitting at around about 12.8 volts. You don't really want it dropping anything below 12. A good one is people forget to switch system shutdown buttons off, leave the 12 volt on in the van when they've got them disconnected, and it will slowly drain over time, that battery. Once those batteries drained, if they're a lead acid battery and they're drained and those plates start to sulfur up, then that battery's goosed. If you look after a battery, you can get 7 or 8 years out of it. If you can lose one in a year if you mistreat it. So round about 12.8, once it starts getting down to the 12 volt sort of stage, then you really need to be charging it up.
Okay. Anything else, Shane?
Nope.
Because it's VE Day.
Yeah.
Name 3 neutral countries in Europe that didn't get involved.
Switzerland.
Yeah. They all begin with S.
Sweden.
I got mine.
Yeah. Lee, you're under pressure now.
Sorry, I was reading another question and I wasn't listening.
Maybe 3 neutral countries in Europe that weren't in the war. We've got Sweden and Switzerland. And it begins with S.
Somalia.
No, go on.
Spain.
Really?
See,
I never knew that.
I never knew that.
Google knew it.
Well, it's
You
like
didn't.
that.
Come on.
Oh, it's not from you, Jace, is it? It's Google.
I've only just found out we've got 2 batteries.
Oh, stop it. Surprised about Spain, though. Really surprised. It's huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Oh, another question I got as
How
well.
many expats are in Spain? I get it now.
Another email I got, Lee, just a quickie. When I'm not using my motorhome, is there anything I should be doing?
Drain it down. Make sure it's completely drained down. Even through the summer period, you don't want to be leaving water in the system. It's going to gunk up all your pipe work and everything like that. So, make sure it's completely drained off. Leave your taps open. Close everything down. Especially this time of year, I'll be closing curtains and things like that as well to stop the sun getting in, because it's going to bleach all your fabrics, etc. Other than that, really, it'd just be a case of what you would normally do if you were going to winterize it.
Okay. If you brought a second-hand £25,000 van, how much depreciation would you expect over 5 years, assuming it was kept in good condition?
Oh, God, good one for that.
Go on, then.
Right. There are some motorhomes that actually, especially at that price range, actually start to go back up in value. Because to get anything in that size, be it 2 berth, 2 travel, whatever it may be, you can actually, you'll find that the new ones are getting so expensive that the second-hand market it won't keep on depreciating. It actually will stop and go, hang on a minute, I'm going to turn around, I'm just going to start going back up. So you'll get that a lot of otherwise over 5 years. Now, there's a rule of thumb. You can lose 5,000-6,000 on a motorhome from buying it from a main not a main dealer, a used motorhome dealer as such, retail side. You can lose the same amount of money in 1 year than you can do in 3 or 4 years. So in something like a motorhome, as the question asks, it's being assumed it's kept in good condition. I reckon you'd only expect to lose probably, if it's around that value, probably about £5,000, £1,000 a year, which is really, really low. Now, that's what I think.
That's a good shout, Jace. That's a good shout.
I see. When you get to the 25,000, 30,000 market, you're always going to sell them. You just will, as long as they're in good condition. If they've been mistreated, they've had leaks, the floor's gone, the panel's gone on the wall, wherever it is, it's going to be worth 10, 15 grand because you've got to spend £5,000 on it. It just is. It kind of gets to that realm. But really, a 25 grand van, 30. Well, going to be more towards 30 grand van to be half sensible. You won't lose that much over the 5 years. You will probably lose as much over 5 years as you would in 1 year in getting rid of it. So it'd be the same. That's what I think.
I'm just going to roll with some comments because we've got some comments coming in. What do you charge for full habitation? It's the least show, Shane. We might as well just change it.
He's going to make a fortune.
How will you travel to Glossop in Derbyshire? You sound like a class act.
Are we paying people again?
Yeah, but that's good to hear. Good to hear.
No, mate, you deserve it, mate. Do you want to answer the question to start?
Full habitations. I mean, what I charge is for a full habitation is £130.
How much?
You want to charge?
Me 160 last time.
You have to put up with you, so I have to put some extra.
Oh.
Now, obviously, that varies from region to region. Some people's overheads are a lot more, etc., etc. So it does vary from different areas. I mean, I know some people are charging well over £200 for habitation service. Do I travel to Glossop in Derbyshire? Unfortunately, no. However, I do have customers who travel to Shropshire for a little weekend away, and I can do their habitation while they're here. So I do have that happen occasionally. I've got a few customers who do that, come down from different areas, and yeah, while they're here, they'll give me a call in advance, and I actually go and do the service while they're here. So
sounds a bit ominous, that does. Oh, just come down and travel and see me.
Staycation, what would you think campsite owners should say to you about spacing and safety issues? Will they charge more?
Go on, Jason.
That's a good question. That's a really good question, isn't it? Because it's taking up more room, or do they just want to stick to the original charge because they still want an income? There's not going to be as many people travelling. You know,
but I'm going to see. Let me jump on the other side as well. Is if the campsite's got 1,000 pitches and they're only allowed to do 500.
Yes.
Yeah. Now they're not going to be opening the pubs and the restaurants, are they?
No, but you're not.
So we ain't going to be getting. They ain't going to be getting an income from that. So would they be putting them up? I'm only giving it the other side, Jason.
Yeah, but you know how quickly that can put people's noses out of joint.
Yeah,
you know, and it's hang on. Yes, sorry, Lee.
The other thing is that when sites do come to reopen, the chances are they're not going to be offering full facilities either, because they're not going to have toilets and shower blocks open. Possibly, they're not going to have the bars and clubs open that are attracting people to the site anyway. So, you can't really charge extra when you're not offering your full range of services.
Yeah,
On the
good
other-
one, Lee. Yeah, really good.
On the other side, it's supply and demand. If people wanted to get out,
I actually think they should I actually think most of these vacation spots where motorhomes go to, I actually reckon they should give them some sort of incentive to get everyone back into doing their holidays, rather than staying at home. I know there's got to be the social distancing. There's got to be but they've got to inspire people to start moving again once we're able to do that. You've got to bear that in mind. We don't know how long that's going to go on for, but I would have thought it would be bad if they were to increase their prices. I know they've got to cover overheads, but it's better to have a penny than not, as such. You know, I would love to be selling as many motorhomes as I was 2 months ago, 3 months ago. But whatever comes through the door over the next 6 months, I'm going to be grateful for, because it's still going to help go towards the bills.
Yeah. I think, to be honest as well, Jason and Lee Shane, I think people are going to be itching to get out in the camper van or caravan.
Oh, definitely. My phone started ringing this week. Really started to, liven up again with people who are, I need to get this done prior to getting out. And they're a bit disappointed when I tell them I've got like 9 weeks of work backlogged as well. So it's going to be a while before I can get to them.
Okay.
Or they can travel to you.
Yeah, they can travel to me. I'll have to wait late days.
He's never going to leave his house. The whole road's going to have a motorhome. It's going to be like a McDonald's drive-through. I'm going to be there.
All 2 meters apart.
Yeah. You're kidding me. That's a bloody good idea. I tell you, the only people making money at the moment are supermarkets and butchers. What about habitation people? They're going to be making a fortune. They need to be just by themselves. That's it. That's all I need to be doing. No way.
Do all motorhomes come fitted with a water filter? And if not, would recommend to have one fitted?
No, they don't. No. You get a lot of the onboard pumps have a strainer in them to get grit and things out, but there's no filter in them as such. Recommend to have one fitted. You could. It's something else you must remember when you come to winter time to take out, because that will hold water in. So if you leave it in line through winter, chances are a good frost, it'll crack, and then when you fill it up, start the season, you'll have water everywhere. I haven't got a filter in mine. I've got a strainer in mine. We do use the water in the van. I just regularly, clean the system, and you can always use it like a Brita filter if wanted, to filter your water if you're going to drink out of it. Most people say they don't drink out the water system anyway. So again, it's an individual choice, that really.
The motorhome's been charging through the solar panel, which doesn't seem to go any higher than 12.7 to 12.8 volts. Is that normal, or should it go higher?
No, it should be going higher than that.
Yeah.
It might be worth taking the battery off and testing the battery at that, because that could be.
I'll tell you what you do need to do, Lee, though. Is that at night or in the day?
Oh dear.
Oh, they get bad, don't they? You're struggling, aren't you? Hey?
You wonder why I charge you more.
Exactly.
Lads, do we have any more idea about when they are opening? I'm assuming that's campsites.
yeah, I'll stick by what the Caravan and Motorhome Club always said, which was 1st of July. That's the only thing you can hope.
Well, as long as they're given the green light.
As long as it's safe to be.
It's only we're waiting for that, the green light. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Just that.
Yeah.
Here we go, Jason. Buying a motorhome we know is expensive. Should one go for the cheaper one to try, or rent one, or go for broke and buy new, assuming they had funds?
Buying a motorhome we know is expensive. Should we go for a cheaper one? Right. I have this many a time with customers. And down to the individual. I don't know what that noise is going on again. I don't know what's going on. I've got a bit. Is it me or you guys? Anyway, okay. More to the point. Depending on the customer, with the customer, I will have a good conversation with them first, and I'll see how they're thinking, how excited they are about getting into this. Because if with motorhoming, it's going to be expensive to rent one, so you can spend a lot of money quite quickly in rent. That's better. That's it. I can hear people now. Right, that's better. Okay, it's Jason again.
Yeah.
But with this question, it's a good one, because the amount of money you can spend on renting and not really get used to it that quick is going to cost you a lot of money. Now, if they're expensive. It depends what your budget really is. If you're the 25 to 30,000 pound, which please is still a lot of money, but it's not when you go into the motorhome world, is you're not going to lose that amount of money. I have many people coming from Australia, New Zealand, Europe, and they will buy a motorhome from us and use it for 6 months, and they'll lose less money than what they would have done on renting one.
I get exactly the same there, Jason. Yeah.
And then when you rent one, you're either renting a new motorhome that's not really your style, or it's not what you really want. Now, I've had many people come down and literally not sure if they want to buy or not. Literally, that is it. They're just starting it off. And I will literally, I got a question here. I've got a sheet here that I will use with customers each and every time I meet them and go through everything, because I'll get to understand their needs. And usually I will get it to a point where if they're deciding whether or not they like it or they don't like it, then I will get to a point where if we eventually find a motorhome that they like and it suits them and it suits their budget, I usually turn around and say, well, if you've had enough of it in a year, I'm going to give you that if it's the same condition. If it's 6 months, I'm going to give you this. Now, as I said earlier, with the question on how much will you lose over 5 years, it's where you will lose the same amount of money in 6 to 12 months in a year. You'll lose that greater amount. Could you imagine if you were renting one for that time? It's going to cost you a lot more money than that. So,
I think, Jason, for your first motorhome, I wouldn't be blowing the budget at all, because your first motorhome you buy will never be the right one until you start using them.
Well, I mean, this question is so widespread. It's depending on the budget. If people were coming in to say, right, I'm going to spend 100 grand, I can completely understand. Go and rent one, definitely. Not that you might find that same model. I would understand that. But most people's budget around that amount of money is literally, there's not a lot of difference between actually getting it right at the beginning and enjoying it and not having to change the motorhome, because that costs you money changing the motorhome. But at the same time, if you don't like motorhoming, you're going to lose less money than you would have done in rental. So, yeah, I've had quite a few people buy rather than just rent and see if they like it. So but it all depends on that person. It really does. It really does. Is that answered or not answered?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Are we any nearer a date when we can use our motorhome? Do you think they will have the toilets closed?
Your
We've
guess
got
is
a toilet on
as
your
good as ours.
motorhome. Well, you've got to wait for the green light. Green light again. Green light.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll have the toilets open.
I don't think facilities will be open at all. It's too big a risk, that.
A bit like I said on the last show, I think at best it will be every other toilet, a bit like the service stations are on the motorways. But I mean, you're probably going to have to do that for the people who are camping if they are open to that in the tents, because obviously they can't just go in the tent. It's not good for everybody in there. Yeah. Well, motorhomes and caravans, they can certainly use it on site and just fill up.
You never know. People might actually start to use toilets in motorhomes and caravans because they don't anyway.
That's exactly what we said on the last show, Jason.
I know.
As long as they clean them out before they're serviced.
The amount of motorhomes I've bought and they've turned around and said, never use the cooker, never use the toilet, never use the shower. And I'm like, and you got it for what? What was the reason? And it was like, really? It's like clinically clean. And yeah, it's quite fun. It's entertaining.
There's a question, Lee. what percentage would you say that you get that haven't had the toilet cleaned out first?
Hey,
Sorry, I've just lost you there. You still there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's it. I can hear you.
Yeah. Yeah. What percentage would you say that don't have the toilet clean before they hand it over to you?
Not many. Not many. If there's any sort of smell coming from that area, then it will be
they're not
marked on the sheet.
returning customers.
It's not been looked at, and they will be told, look, I've not looked at your toilet because it's not empty, it's not clean. You know, it is one thing that I'm quite strict by is if the toilet's been used, then you know I'll check the flush, check the seals. But yeah, that's as far as it'll go.
I bet the habitation report would fail.
I just normally put it in the comments, you know, it's rather than
smelly. The used smelly. Did.
Top 3 7-metre motorhomes for 25 to 30k at the moment. 4 berth for long-term travel. This is for Jason and Shane, I think.
Yeah, we'll come to. What do you reckon? Come back to that shortly, Jason. That's going to take some.
You've got a 530 layout on some of them, but 25 to 30k is hard. 7 metre auto sleep with no over. That's going to kick you over. That's only a 2 berth 2 travel. Broadway French. Wow.
I think that depends what they're looking for as well, isn't it? Are they looking for a fixed bed? Are they looking for?
It's the under 7 meters and long-term travel that makes it a little bit more difficult because you want that space, you want that payload.
What about possibly an older A-class?
That was my next thing I was going to say. Something like
564.
Yeah,
568, 564. Drop down bed at the front. Lounge turns into a bedroom. They're quite nifty. They're really quite nifty. Yeah, it's always that budget, isn't it? It's always that budget. I get customers come to me. I only want to spend £30,000, but I want this. Yeah, no, it doesn't work. Yeah, let me try and I'm going to. I'll come back to that with you, Shane.
Yeah, we'll both have a look and have a think about that.
I looked around. Well, it was over £600 in the summer, and probably more than that, to be honest.
Yeah, £600 doesn't sound too bad for a motorhome for the week, to be fair.
Yeah, normally 8 to 9, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah, and maybe
It's
1,000. Or you're from down south, aren't you? So it's going to be more expensive.
Oh, it's like that. We're going down the border. Anything past the Thames, Northern monkeys. Right, I get it. I see what it's. I see where you're going. Okay, there's me kind of keeping it nice and clean.
Here's an interesting question. Do you think some places will find anti-locals asking you to still stay away?
Yeah. Yeah,
what
I'm booked to go to
shields and swords.
I'm booked to go to Devon the first week of July. And the way the people are around Devon at the minute, I don't think there'd be any chance of us going, to be honest with you. They don't want people there. It's the same around North Wales.
But I don't mind when I want the obviously the tourist season income. You bought a loaf of bread down there during the season.
But that's a difficult one, isn't it? Because if you've got the locals who don't want them there, but the campsites want to open.
Yeah, and also you've got the shops, and when it does come to it, when you do get the green light for the pubs and everything like that, they won't be able to. They can't wait to get those tourists down there. But again, it's back to that whole thing. What stage are we going to be at with the coronavirus with that? You know, is it going to be safe to go everywhere generally? We're assuming, as it stands now, that people won't want them. But in a few months' time, when the spread rate is near to zero, it's fair game, really. And hopefully everybody will be on that same page.
Quick quiz, Shane, or?
Yeah, I think so. One for everybody, really. In 2019, how many motorhomes were in the UK?
And what replaced the Bessie car this year? Don't answer.
Jason should know the Bessie car one because I'm sure we had a walk round in October.
Oh. Carry on, Anya. Carry on. I'm trying. Sorry, I'm trying to answer the last question. I'm trying to look at my stock list to find
I
out.
know
what
you
we're
are.
about to go.
So, how many motorhomes were in the UK in 2019? And Shane?
What was the better car replaced by for the 2020 model year?
Oh, the Sport.
Why?
Oh, all right. Come to me. Whoa. Blah, blah, blah.
Motorhome
Part
tax. While
salesman, remember, part salesman.
Mo- Motorhome tax. It went up a bit, didn't it, a few months ago?
It did do.
And
It went up a little, not a lot. Yeah, what was it?
And then come back down again.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a yo-yo. Yeah.
Scared everyone half to death, and then they realised after everyone, they put something together, didn't they? And there was so many votes or so many signatures.
Yeah, the NCC did, didn't they?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was ridiculous how much it went up to, though, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it went up from what's motorhome tax for a year? Is it 265?
265
or 285, one or two.
Yeah, 265 to just about £2,100 for the first year.
Yeah. Didn't every main dealer go whoopee to that?
Yeah. Apart from the ones who had a year-old stock in, who cashed in.
Yes.
Lots of 2019 plates. They all did well with that.
Are you winning there, Jason, on Friday the Motorhome?
Well, I've got.
He's
There
shot.
we
He's shot. If you're listening, Jason, just refresh your page, mate. We'll just take you out until you've refreshed. So, then, how many motorhomes were in the UK in 2019?
Oh, you're back. Oh, I'm over on the left now.
So you said you got one for us.
Auto Cruise Wentworth, 23990. Now that is a 4-berth 2 travelling. It's 6.9 meters long. The only thing with these old ones, the older ones with that price range, is depending if you've got a C1 on your license, because they can easily, the older ones can easily go over 3.5 ton. Easy. Obviously, there's lots of different models that you can get, but this is just a quick example. That's all it is. I mean, they're usually quite heavy when they get to the older class, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, I've got a now Sun Traveller, but that's 4 ton. That's 7 meters. That's at 24,000. Compass Avantgarde 160. That is within the C1 license, 3.4 ton gross weight, and that's 6 traveling. 6 traveling. It's getting even bigger. But there's a variety of it. You know, some things like this. I mean, the Compass Avantgarde 160. I must admit, I've got a soft spot for, because it's got the bunk bed set up with the side opening. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Now you've gone again.
He's put the curse on there, haven't we? We'll just take a. Shall we answer them questions, mate? How many motorhomes were in the UK in 2019? I did notice somebody has had a guess at it. Ian Blackford, approximately 200,000 motorhomes.
I wouldn't trust a word he says. I know him. He's probably Googled that. He's a cheat.
What do you reckon, Lee? How many?
If Ian says 200, I'm going to go 205. Because he's probably Googled it anyway.
I hope not, because he's got it wrong. 225,000 is the answer.
Oh, beat him. Yes, get in. Have that, Ian.
He's back.
Is it me that's crashing, or is it everyone else?
Yeah.
It'd be Wi-Fi, mate.
I'm coming to the kids' room to make sure everything was good.
Connection's better up here.
We're better.
Got it. Oh,
what was the other question? What was the other question we asked, Shane?
What replaced the better car?
Do you want me to tell you?
Sport.
I need a moment.
What's that?
Down here are the Swift Contiki Sports. As you know, Swift own Bessicar. And where's Bessicar now?
It isn't. It is no more. We have the nicer, younger model, which I'm sure we can all appreciate.
I need a moment. I loved the old Bessicars. And it's gone.
It's not really being replaced though, it's just been rebadged as a Contiki Sport.
It's not a Bessicar.
It's now a sport, it should be sportier.
I love the Bessicars.
You sound like Kev, you do.
Not so much the newer ones, more of the older Bessicars. I just think they were such a great van.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the steps worked.
You hated maintaining them, did you, Lee?
Jason,
Bessicar steps.
my biggest gripe is steps. Sometimes I won't even buy a van if the step doesn't work. It winds me up.
Working and falling apart is two different things, because some of these ones you used to stand on and they used to just go under the floor. So yeah, get that. But yeah, steps. Get a ladder.
Bessicars, yeah. They want to go. What did you think of them, Jason? The Bessicars.
I've sold many, so yes, they're great news as a seller. They actually got a good look to them. They actually look quality, so to me that that helps. That works out. But yeah, it's like anything. It's change, isn't it? You know, everything's changing. Everything's being rebought, or it depends who owns them. But yeah, I mean, I love a Swift product, and I love the Bessicar product. So if, as Shane said in the video, it's just been rebadged. That's all it is.
Yeah. I do find it ever so strange how they've took out such a long-standing name and just rebranded it with something that's very similar to what they've already got. I mean, there's already a Contiki. Why just add a little sport
Some
on
accountant
the end
owns it somewhere and decided it was a good idea. It's up there that makes the decisions, and they're not talking to the people down here. The people that are selling their products, especially the main agents. But it's just change, isn't it? It's like cars, isn't it? Volkswagen, Porsche, who owns all of them? Volkswagen, Skoda. There's going to be only a few superpowers in the industry that are going to own all the pockets of everyone else. That's all that happened.
This is putting a thing about ovens not being used. Russ says, one thing for sure, going away in July, people will use their ovens and hobs and bathrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah. These going to have more work.
Yeah, that's it. It will, yeah. Because they've never used them before, so they'll all start going wrong.
Usually they turn up to site, set up, and go to the bar, or go to the restaurant, or go to the pool. I still remember.
Sorry, Jason.
I still remember my first ever motorhome holiday was where my mum was offered from my dad to be bought a Volkswagen Campervan, the old pop-up roof with the bunk beds that used to come out, going back a long time because I'm quite old. So about 40 years ago, or a Mercedes SL. So my mum decided on the Volkswagen Campervan. We've got out to southern France to set up. My dad set up the awning, there's the windbreaker. He set up the cooker, the gas cooker, all the bits and pieces. And the first thing out my mum's lips was, "Where's the restaurant?" It was sold when I got back from Europe. It was so funny. Still, I was only about 10 years old. It had an A track for the stereo. That's how old it is. But that was a funny moment.
Catch up on some comments. Great show. Keep it up. I don't know if it's have you ever went on a trip with a dog? I think that'll be for you, Shane, won't it?
I have, yeah. This I take my little Doris, and we've also got
Doris.
I'm not sure you should be calling one's partner a dog. I say, Shane. And you named your dog Doris.
Doris.
That's nearly as good as me wanting a bulldog and calling it Dave. My wife won't let me do it. Doris.
Yeah, Doris.
Clearly uncharted waters lie ahead. What would you advise as the most important thing to do, and be careful?
Sanitize and keep clean. And stay away from most people.
I think if you're going away with a motorhome or caravan, really, you've got to look at being able to self-contain what you're doing within your own van. Be prepared to use your own cooker, use your own toilet, use your own shower. That's what I'd say personally.
Do you know? I just had a thought.
I told you would. I told you, didn't I? You are Blackford.
Could you imagine the amount of people that will eventually go back out motorhoming, but going past the weighbridge and panicking because they've got everything on board because they're not going to go shopping or go to restaurants or go to a bar. They're going to have so much stock, shall I say. I'm not going to make out that most motorhomes might enjoy a gin and tonic or two, but it's going to be pulling a wheelie into the motorhome site, isn't it? Literally.
Ian's confessed.
I told you.
Did look it up. Any chance you could...
Sorry, he looked it up, but he still got it wrong.
Yeah, he said he didn't want to get it bang on in case you guessed. I knew what he'd have done. I know it too well.
Any chance you could explain the driving license weight restrictions thing for me, please?
Okay, so if you passed your test after the 1st of January 1997, you are restricted to a gross vehicle weight of 3,500 kilograms, 3.5 ton. If you pass your test before that, it's 7.5 ton. Unless you
like us old people.
Yeah. So the other three that are in this group, apart from me, they're old and they'll have their grandfather's rights.
He's got one.
Yeah, I had to take my class 2 and then I ended up taking my class 1 as well.
Oh.
There's Doris. Great show and keep it up. Can you give me some tips about living in a van with a small dog and what can you do for the flooring just in case she pees on the floor?
I've got the answer.
Yeah.
Leave the dog at home.
No.
Sorry, my kids just went to bed, so I had to say goodnight. But
no problem.
Living in a van. Right, okay, I have got a good tip. Have you got good tips about living in a van with a small dog? Right, have you bought the van or are you about to buy the van? Because then you can get some certain motorhomes that will work quite well with having a dog. I.e., you could have the rear bunk beds on the 696 Lifestyle where you can do the bottom bunk as a kennel and have the door open for it getting in and out, depending on your budget. But other than that, leave it at the bus stop at home.
Now, here's the other question. Does the dog sleep in bed with yourself? But mainly, just keep the car. Just take the car.
Gladys sleeps with you, doesn't it? Gladys sleeps with you.
Doris.
Okay. Stupid
Who's
old
Gladys?
Who's Gladys? Oh God! Quick run!
How well is the eldest Accordo made, and what is your opinion of them?
Oh, this is
Pass it on to Lee.
I'll be honest, completely honest. I'm not a big fan of eldest build quality, especially the newer stuff. In my opinion, it's poor. The older stuff is better, but eldest build quality, in my opinion, is quite poor. Whether that will improve now that the Heimer group have got involved, because Heimer's build a good van. It'd be interesting to see in the future.
Heimer the other day.
Sorry.
The other night or last week, was it Aaron that was knocking Heimer?
No.
But Lee, I'm building a list on you on not liking certain products or brands. It was Bailey the other night, and I'm like, wow.
Bailey's are another one. Yeah, Bailey's eldest though.
But you can't remember that these are newer vans that people are getting into and enjoying it. They're not 15 years. The older stuff that people were keeping like 30 years ago, 20 years ago, yes, of course, but the people are in and out of these things quite quickly. I know what you're saying about build quality, but sometimes it's going past the fun element of actually being in a motorhome. But the money gets out of hand, doesn't it? It just keeps on going up and up and up.
Don't get me wrong, Bailey-wise, they have some nice layouts. They do have some really nice layouts in the van.
Exactly.
But I've got one customer in particular. I thought he'd done a DIY job under his seats. It was rough sawn timber. It was shocking quality, really bad.
Was that brand new?
But, yeah, it was a year-old van.
Don't get me wrong. I don't sell new vehicles. But right, no, okay. I have got a favourite though.
Go on.
Cool.
Oh no,
No,
we're
we'll
going.
ask you that.
Oh, hang on, chaps.
What?
An hour and 10 minutes so far. How much longer are you keeping me on?
We'll go all night.
Oh God, can I get another drink then?
Which manufacturers depreciate the less in value?
Which manufacturers depreciate the less in value?
Chaisson. Chaisson.
No.
I'd go Chaisson.
Yeah.
Which manufacturers depreciate the less in value?
Bedemore, Chaisson.
Börsner.
Depends on the price range on that. The Chaissons, they seem to be
But
45
that is
grand.
it's a wide question, isn't it? It's a real wide question, this one, because it's like anything. You buy something for 70, 80, you're going to have the 20% as soon as you go out the showroom, be it a car or a motorhome. But when you get down to a certain year and price range, they're quite good at slowing down with their depreciation. That's across the board. That's not just one or two.
Yeah.
It's most of them. So that's across the board, really. That I wouldn't put it down to one.
How about to throw this at you, Jason? The depreciation is all about how long you've looked after the van.
100%, because you've got to be looking at if it's being offered back to a dealer, a used dealer. It's about the preparation costs that are involved, and if everything's working as should be, it hasn't been kicked, hasn't got scratches, multitude of use. I mean, I've literally had people offer me a motorhome, excuse me, and describe it as next to brand new, albeit being 6-7 years old, and I get excited. I'm like, fantastic. The money they want for it is fine. I'm like, great, come down, let me have a look at it. And it turns up and they're living in it. And it's like, right, what about that? And what about that, Mark? What about that being kicked off? And why is there a dormant? And you get to a point where you're like, people's expectations of what they think is brand in good order isn't. And it's just, it's shocking sometimes. But most of the time, they're in good order. They're in good order. They're going to get the right money, and you can retail at the right money as well. There isn't going to be massive margins in it.
Okay, one for Lee. It's charging via solar at 12.7 to 12.8 over the last few weeks. What should the solar panel achieve? The Motorhome is a Bessie car 560 coming up to 1 year old.
Right. If it should be achieving more than that, is that a factory fitted Sargent panel? Because if it is, it's quite possibly connected direct into the Sargent ECU.
Yeah, maybe cross.
It may be, if it is, that it may have been swapped over accidentally, because you can alter which battery through the Sargent system it will put the main charge to. I've actually had that previously with customers. They've accidentally gone through the settings and changed over because they've been messing and checking solar output, and they've actually changed it over so it's charging the vehicle battery as opposed to the leisure battery as the primary supply. The one thing I would say is how old is your battery, and possibly get your battery tested, because that should definitely be putting out more than 12.7 volts. So really test your battery and check your settings if it's a solar one, if it's a Sargent one, sorry.
With such a short season now, is winterizing a must now?
Definitely.
It is anyway.
Winterization's a must every year.
Yeah.
I've had, over the last couple of years, seasoned caravanners and motorhomers caught out by the most basic of things, as they've closed the taps when they've drained the water off, and then start the season, the frost got into them, damaged cartridges, and taps aren't cheap for caravans and motorhomes now. So yeah, winterization definitely a must.
Yeah. Aaron, we had Aaron on last Friday. I don't like new. I don't like new Armies, just don't have the wow factor, the price they are. The old ones are great. I think that's what he was actually saying last week, where you'd have thought Heimer had pushed it out more and more. They seem to have just carried on. It's a shame.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just a bit plain. Is the best way to put it. Yeah.
Plain.
Hey, just let me go back to Chris Borgs. Now, Jason, that one. Yeah, that one. Jason mentioned an A class for that 25 to 30 grand as a 7-meter van. I reckon something like a Rapido.
Yeah.
03, 04, 05. I think that'd be a nice touring van. Nice payload. You got a garage and French bed options as well. 996.
Yeah.
I'd go for something like that. If not, you've got Niesman and Pilot as well, I guess. Well, yeah.
Depending on the money. Yeah.
We don't really shy away from many questions on the show. What markup will a motorhome dealer typically have in a used 40k van?
Now,
I don't ask you how much money you earn a week. Well, it's just all down to the dealer, their overheads and everything else they've got on. So
depends if it come in part exchange or they went out and bought it. Loads of circumstances.
Yeah.
I can have £500 in a motorhome because I've taken in part exchange, but I know I'm going to sell it quick.
and the other thing to that is markup's very difficult because you don't know when you're buying it in the first place, what you've got to put into it to get it out the other end. You know, you could buy something, for example, 45 grand and spend 3 grand on getting it ready by the time you take your VAT out, your warranty fees, any preparation to get it going. And
don't forget, you'll be paying the VAT and profit VAT on and the tax on the full amount that you purchased to sell, and it doesn't take into account the spend you spend on getting it prepped. So there's all that to take into account. But
yeah. It might take £1,000 worth of advertising to have bought that van in the first place.
Yeah, but really, a 40 grand van, you'd want 10%. You'd want 4 grand, wouldn't you? I mean, that would be within reason. That's taken into account with all your costs, marketing costs, preparation costs, everything else. You'd probably end up with about 2.5, 2,500 quid after spend. So you'd have 4 grand in it, but you would have spent 1,500 quid getting everything prepped and paying for advertising. So that gives you an idea. If that answers the question.
Well answered.
Yeah.
I spoke to you last week. I really like the Burst and Lyso Harmony line G690 G 2019. Is it a good buy? Is it worth spending a bit more for our first van? Cheers, Mark.
That was at the NEC show, wasn't it, last year?
Yeah, I mean, we've got one at the moment without trying to promote it.
Oh, here we go.
But
plug.
It probably is my favourite two-berth motorhome in all seriousness, because just that garage, I love a double bed above the garage and all the space it's got and the lights.
And
it looks so pretty. Doris can jump up on the bed and can have cuddles.
Get on, Doris.
What type of dog is it, Shane?
Don't say a Rottweiler.
You can imagine Shane on a campsite, can't you? Going, Doris, get out of me!
Johnny's get in the corner.
Not now, Doris, not now. Oh.
What type of dog is it?
I'm really going to have fuel to the fire here. It's a miniature poodle.
Oh. I was going to swear. Does it go in a handbag?
If my missus had the choice back in the day, she would have done.
Doris, get out of there! Not now, Doris.
She's not that bad. Look.
Oh no!
Oh, my little baby.
He permed the dog's hair last week. Soul glow.
Jason, just cut him, will you?
Whatever. Shot put Gladys in. Oh, Doris, sorry, not Gladys.
All right, cut me out.
At the door.
From now on, you're called Doris.
That's it.
Do you know where the name come from? It's one of my friends always used to call his missus.
Your grandma?
No. One of my friends always used to say, "Oh, I'm out with the Doris tonight," referring to his missus. And that just stuck in my head for so long, so I just named her Doris. And because Vic didn't want her to be named Doris, I thought it'd be rather embarrassing shouting it out, which is right up my street.
I think names for dogs really should be kept to the male side of things. You know, Dave. I love to call it Dave. Yeah, dog Dave. All right, Dave.
Steve.
I used to go fishing,
doing, Dave?
right, with a guy.
You want to go for a walk,
Right,
Dave?
he had this puppy on the bank, and he called it Dave, but it was a bitch. Yeah. How he got away with it, I don't know. He called this dog Dave, this bitch Dave.
He didn't realise when he bought the dog, did he? He didn't look for someone. Yeah. Already had the name sorted.
I think dog days could be a bit boring. You got to put a bit of humour in it.
Oh, yeah, you definitely did that, didn't you? Look at us, we're ruined us. What question?
Okay, people out there, welcome to the Motorhome Dog Show. Could you all post pictures of all your dogs with next to your motorhomes, please, and the names?
Hey, you go to the NEC now, and they've got a dog arena. You remember that?
Think about that, Lynn.
Yeah, I do.
That's scary.
Oh, damn, I
Anyway,
got alcohol in front of me.
Did we answer the birthday question?
I ain't got a clue.
Hey, Dave.
Oh dear, you ain't got a cup of tea, have you? Have you, Jace? You got a vodka. Anyway, well, come on, Martin Seals. Come on, hi guys. Spoke to you last week. I really like the person I listen. Yeah, I like that. But can I put a little bit into? I like a particular person, or is that something you're going to ask me later? Because we're rambling on.
Well, if you're talking about a particular person, go for it.
Well, I really, just because I got one, I've got my Versna Exio. Iexio? How do you pronounce it? How would you pronounce it, Shane?
Ixio.
Ixio? Iexio? Well, my one is the IT728G. So it's got a massive garage. It's got the two, well, you say single beds at the back, but the kind of single but goes into a double because you put an insert in and it becomes a double. But the lounge area is like a huge, it's got the L shape, then you've got the front seats that spin around, and then you've got the bench opposite. And it's just massive. The table moves all over the place. But have you seen the drop-down bed over there?
I thought you forgot. Yeah. The
drop-down bed is literally nearly as big as my bed. It's huge. It goes the length of the motorhome, doesn't it? Not the width. And that's the difference, is because when it goes the width, you've still got to climb over the other person to get out. With it being the length, you just go to the foot end. If you were lucky enough to own one, the missus can go that way. I'm going that way.
Yeah.
It gives you that amount of room. It just really does. It's a big favourite.
When we were at the show in October, Jace, what was
you're gonna yes, the Cartago Chic line. Ooh.
No, the tent.
Oh, the tent on the trailer. That was awesome. Do you know though? That really bugs me now. I can't remember what it was called. Flipping it, they had off-road tires and wheels. It was an alley frame setup, but basically, if you can imagine, this is the trailer at the back. Sorry, the camera's doing it. But then on the top, you had the flat, and they literally come right over, and they created 2 bedrooms either end, double bedrooms. You had the lounge in the middle. They had a projector screen set up, everything, and it literally just hooks up on the back of your car, 4x4, whatever it may be. And I just thought it was such a good design and imagination. It was brilliant. I thought it was fantastic. Is that Doris in the background, Shane?
No.
Jason, you were just going to talk about the Cartago. We haven't had a person come on the show yet who's not liked it.
Well, listen, guys, look, but I love the fact that they've gone back to, or they're doing, is basically the rear of the motorhome is the lounge. I know you get U-shaped lounges, everything else. Not a big fan of those, but on the Cartago, especially with the leather interior, everything else. And do you remember the seats in the middle when Aaron and I couldn't work out the seat belts worked? But then you went to the front of the motorhome with the drop-down bed. But do you remember me pointing out with the shower head, come out the centre of the headlight at the roof? Yeah, and I just thought, obviously you're going to a level up here, without going crazy, because you can go really crazy. You can go Concord, you can do this, you can do that. Sorry, the door keeps on opening. I just thought for the money, even though it was a lot of money, that Cartago was absolutely awesome. I think it was the only word to it. And I saw one of your blogs, actually, vlogs where it had the Mercedes front end as well, which I just thought was amazing.
Yeah, that was a cheeky line, that was.
Cheeky, like, just such good quality. But and I found that was sensible quality for the money compared to what you were doing with when you start going up a grand. You can jump to 200 grand so easy, and I don't think you actually got that much more. In fact, I actually found sometimes you got actually less room. So yeah, it was a big firm favourite of mine, 100%. And I might be lucky enough to get one of those second hand. It's about 3-4 years old, maybe later part of this year. So yeah, all good.
Had a 2016 Encore 205. Most of the issues I put right myself, but didn't see pipe behind shower tap coming off. And soaking floor went back to factory for 3 months. Could have built a new one in that time.
Oh,
Lee?
It's a usual situation when a van goes back to factory, they can have them there for months at a time. You know that they do take a lot back in. And yeah, they can hold on to them for quite some time. Not just factories; they can be at dealers. You know, it's and I've had vans in the workshop myself that you think, yeah, this isn't going to be too bad a job, and then you need a part and you've got to get it direct from dealer, and it comes back to the conversation we had the other night. You know, you're waiting 3 or 4 months for that part to turn up, which is not good for you. Certainly not good for the customer. But yeah, unfortunately, that's just how things seem to work within this industry. It's not good, but unfortunately, we have to sort of accept it.
What's your thoughts on the Volkswagen Grand California?
ooh, the Crafter.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Don't know too much about them. They don't. We don't tend to cross over too much, do we, guys?
It's
with the
based on the
VWs.
Crafter, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big old thing.
Yeah, it's the bigger one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, last week. Sorry, I'm not getting away from this conversation. The big Volkswagen Grand California, but the Heimer that I was on about last week when I sent an email in or one of the messages, and they had that style. Is it Mercedes? So that would have been not a Viano. What's the bigger one? It's the Viano, and then it goes up to the next one on Mercedes. What's the anyway? But it had the pop-up roof
Sprinter.
on it. Sprinter, thank you very much, sir. And it had the pop-up roof on it, a bit like the Volkswagen Transporter. And I just thought that was an awesome design. I just thought it was brilliant. I mean, obviously, when you get Grand California, that's a lot of quality there. That's a hell of a lot of quality. But that's something completely new. That's the first range they've ever done on anything on that size, isn't it? They've just stuck to the Transporter size.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's a new thing. They tried it as a bit of a concept just to see what interest there was, and all of a sudden it got taken up. But yeah, that Heimer.
Yeah, but then they start making a 4x4 one, and they have the off-road tyres, and they start going down that road. Because the Transporters, obviously, everyone likes to try and keep them as low as possible to try and get in car parks.
Yeah. Yeah, the Grand Canyon, I'd certainly look at the Heimers as well. I think it's the Ayers Rock and
it's one of the two. It's actually, funny enough, it's a friend of mine, Rob, who owns Sussex Campervans, I think it is, and he sells the Heimers, and he was at the show, the NEC, and I hadn't seen the model before, and I was absolutely blown away with it. I thought it was brilliant. But anyway, that was coming away from the Volkswagen Grand California, which I think is a great quality build, fantastic van, but I don't know anything more than that because it's so new.
Yep.
Martin Sill says it's gin o'clock.
Yeah, I know. Can I go and get one? Am I allowed 2 minutes?
Go on, you can have a break.
You are amazing. I like people like you. I would kick Norris to say, go and get me a gin and tonic, but it's a dog.
Where are we up to? Let's have a look. Cheers, guys. Just looking through some of those rapidos. Great shout, Shane. Recently saw an Autoroller 2012 706. in good condition for 30k. Any feedback on the roller team, Shane?
I'd probably say, I mean, I like the roller teams. Somebody asked about motorhomes that don't tend to lose much money. If I was to guess, they would just over 40 grand new. Would you say, Jason, something like that back then? Or around 40 grand new? And they're still up for 30 grand now. So you're not going to lose much money on them all. In terms of build quality, Lee?
Yes, they're a nice van. They are a nice van. I do like those.
Not so much the older ones, though, Shane. They've come on a long way, haven't they? And I'm talking older. Yeah. I mean, I'm talking 98 to probably 2002.
Oh, yeah.
Very.
I can't remember whether it was roller teams or if it was the CIs. But I remember my dad used to sell them new. Well, he was part of the company that used to import them originally, and I can always remember him saying that they were literally all damp. And I mean all damp. I'm talking mid-90s. And it got to a stage where he had to start sending them back to Italy, back to the manufacturer over there. And by the time they sat in the vineyard for 10 weeks, in 100-degree heat, they dried back out again. But yeah, they used to be awful. But they have got a hell of a lot better. Prices obviously got on. I mean, you could buy one for $18,995 back then.
Do you like a fixed table or an unfit table?
Unfixed. Do you know how many times I smack my head on fixed tables?
I think with a fixed table there, Lee, you've got no options, have you?
No. It's they tend to be quite big as well, and sort of trying to get around them can be quite a pain, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it depends. I quite like the Chaisson idea of a fixed table where it is electronically operated. You can move it from one side of the lounge to the other.
Back onto our favourite subject. Which dog? Archie, Betsy, Buffy, JJ, Minnie or Tilly?
What?
Minnie.
Right, which dog?
Is that the name?
I'll get a name.
I don't know.
JJ's all right. Got to go with the J's.
Yeah. That's too easy.
Paul solar panel. What size is it? My factory fitted Sargent solar panel is only 20 watts and doesn't achieve much charge, especially if it's not in the sun. That's not a lot, 20 watts, Lee.
No, it isn't. No, it's pointless putting a 20-watt panel on, to be honest with you. The other thing I will say, if he's regarding Paul's solar panel, is obviously he may have a Duff battery, but it may be worth having a look at what his regulator, the solar regulator's showing. If he has got any issues that it's not showing what it should be, according to his handbook, call the Sargent Technical Helpline. They are really, really good. They're really helpful. They'll take the time and to sit down and talk you through what you may be experiencing. If you've got a fault with a solar panel, and with it only being a year old, it'll be under warranty anyway, and there's not normally any problems with them replacing things.
Oh, just going back to the dogs.
No motorhomes, dogs.
Russ Finn, that's our dogs. Them are all 6 of his dogs.
Oh wow, 6 dogs.
I've got a customer.
That's a lot.
I've got a customer, right, who takes 2 Newfoundlands and 2 cats in their motorhome.
Wow, could you imagine the row on the nights with the cats and the dogs? Newfoundlands are bigger than humans.
I know.
Jesus Christ almighty. Don't call a Newfoundland Doris, whatever you do. Screaming out, Doris, you pissed on my shoes again. Cats being horror.
Trigano now own lots of brands. Ones we looked at today was a Remar. They have come on leaps and bounds. What's your thoughts with Remars, Jason?
Yeah, leaps and bounds. I'm not sure about leaps and bounds. They're getting there. They're getting progressively better. What's your thoughts, Shane? What do you think?
The brand new ones, I've never been too sure on them, really.
Yeah, they've got Rimmel's got the older one was the Catamarana. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's a few.
Over cab, yeah,
Yeah.
Good. They were a good price range. The Rimmel were a good price range motorhome of a certain age. But as for the new stuff, you're going to lose me on that one because, you know, I am quite new to the game myself personally.
Or generally, we don't get to see the new stuff until
exactly.
it's a couple of years old.
Well, exactly that. But at the same time, you know, my first NEC show was last year, so
yeah, yeah. I definitely think they've come on. I mean, Remore have always almost a bit of a race truck is about that the best way to put it. They've always been built on the Fiats, the Fords or Mercedes. So they're
all on the Fords, the older ones, aren't they?
And the garage, and they've always had the garages.
But then don't ever put down a Ford because I actually think the ride of a Ford is quite good. The chassis is good.
I prefer the Ford personally.
So yeah.
Right, Jason. Here we go. Quick fire round. What's your favourite motorhome?
Oh, I got a few. You already know of one of them, which I said about the Bursner Axio. But depending on price, I tell you what is a really fun motorhome, and is the Swift Rio 340 and the 320 model. I just think that's a fun, compact, great fun. I mean, I've got two young kids. I've got a 7.5-year-old and a 6-year-old. Drive me crazy, but I love them. And if I was to dart away for a weekend, and if I had it in stock, that's what I'd be using. I'd definitely have the 340, obviously, because it's 4 berth, 4 travel. But the thing I like about it, and the main thing I like about it, is the fact that when you set up the bench seats down below for the double bed, and then you bring a drop down bed, but the key to it is when you just click the rear door and it just opens up. And depending, you've parked the right way round to the beach view, the sea view, the hills, wherever it may be, but you've got the best view. You just in your element, you open it all up and you're just laying in bed looking out to the elements without having to get out the van, set up outside. I just think that is quite cool. The 320 Swift Rio for 2 people traveling, doesn't matter your age group, really doesn't matter. You could be a young couple, you could be an old couple. You're just opening up the back.
Yeah, something like I do like about the 320 is because you can open the back, you can put bikes and things in between the two bench seats.
Exactly that. You're not having anything off. It's practical. You should, most people, if you're lucky enough to have a driveway, you should be able to fit it on. But it's just up and goes like driving a car. You know, the Rio's got all the options at the front. It's got 6-speed, cruise control, climate control, DAB radio. It's got all the bits and pieces to go along with it. And I reckon, they retain their value quite well. I reckon they don't depreciate that quick and they're not that hard to do. But when you're lucky enough one comes up, then that's definitely where I would be. I did actually have another one that I wrote down, actually, which was one of my favourites. But then going big would be a tag axle, which is not everyone's liking, but that would be my Swift Contiki 669 Highline. That's an island bed, overcab bed, double dinette. I'm fond of that because if you're in a motorhome, for me, practical side of a family is I don't really want to make a bed. Yeah. And I want the kids that way, and I'm that way. It's just being practical. Listen, I'm not the only one that would say that. When people say, oh, yeah, we're going to get a Bailey Advance and we're going to get the drop-down bed and the kids can go up there and I'm going to be underneath on a long vacation, on a 2-week holiday, yeah. If it's a long vacation and you have the money, because it's a 60, 70 grand buy second hand, you can go down the AutoTrail Comanche route. You can go down the Frontier route, which has got the transverse fixed bed. But I love the fact of an island bed, but I love the overcab bit. So the kids are sorted out. You can set up the double dinette as well, so the kids can be separated. But more than anything, they're going to have a load of fun getting up over the driver's cab. It's got a good sized double bed up there. As long as they're not fighting and winding each other up, it's going to be okay. And mum and dad can be the other end. And if anyone needs to use the toilet or the bathroom during the night, especially as older people of a certain age, a certain amount of gin and tonics, you're going to need a wee during the night. Then you've got the bathroom in the middle. You know, you can go and make a cup of tea. You got that vast scope of doing many things without, treading over people. I love being able to go to a bed, go to a dining area, and have the separation of what you need. But that is
just going to say that separation.
It's just, but that's going right up there with motorhoming. Motorhoming is really quite compact, and you are on top of each other. But if I was really going for it for a family, for me, I'd probably end up, and I know Swift, I say Swift a lot, but it's because the lifestyle model, the 696 for me, the 686, it's got the 2 benches at the rear. The 696 has got the rear bunks. And if you're en route somewhere, the bottom bunk can flip up. You can get your bikes in. You can get everything in. You've got the dinette. You've got the overcab bit. Mum and dad can be up there. The kids are in the bunk bed. You can carry on your evening if you've got young children. And the other thing I do like is, I mean, when people are, say, for instance, being nosy or just visiting and saying hi, they're not opening up your motorhome door and looking down the kitchen to the rear lounge to say hello. You've got a double dinette there in front of you, and you're not inviting them in. More than anything, you can stay there.
Just a quickie, Jason. This is to you, Lee. The solar panel is 150 watt factory fit.
Yeah, he should be getting a lot more than that. What I'd say to Paul, if he's on Facebook, go to my business page, LB Caravan Services Limited, like it, send me a message, and over the weekend, I'll try and give you a bit more advice on what you can be looking for in it. There's a little bit more information I might need from your regulator, etc., and try and help you get it sorted. And, you know, if I can, I'll try and get it sorted for you.
Can't ask better than that, can you really? Here's one for Jason. Which country makes the best motorhomes?
Germany? You're going to go down that route?
Yeah.
The Germans? As quick as you can be? Yeah. Germany or not? Where are you going to go? Spain? UK? Where are you going?
What do they call the motorhome in Germany?
What do they call a motorhome? A motorhome?
A Wohnmobil. A Wohnmobil.
Definitely don't pronounce it like that. No.
What do they call a motorhome in France?
Le Motorhome.
Camping car.
Oh, that just sounds stupid, doesn't it?
What do they call a motorhome in Italy? Go on. You get me so disappointed.
What do the Italians call a motorhome? Give up.
Camper.
Shocking. The quiz is shocking.
What do they call them in Spain and Portugal?
Rubbish.
Autocaravana.
Oh, okay. Oh. Caravella or Caravel?
Caravana.
Ah, Caravana. Ah, Caravana. Yeah.
Let me just knock a few more comments off. Hi guys, on the Burster 7442 booth. Can you convert the front dinette table into an extra bed? The same with the Harmony Line 690G.
You can.
Everyone can do everything if you're clever enough.
Go on,
Lee
Lee.
can do it.
Go on, Lee. What we say?
You've misread it. You've misread it. It says you can convert the front dinette table into an extra bed. Not can you? Oh,
Jason, you're rubbish.
Put your glasses on, Jason.
Yes, you can, Martin. Hi, how would you say is the Bessicar? Are they any good?
I just get...
Are the AutoTrail any good?
Are you sure this is not a Graham Norton show, this one?
Hi, would you say the AutoTrail are...
Yeah, going to tip you out the chair in a minute.
Actually, AutoTrail, I think, are fantastic. And
they are.
Yes, I do. And Auto Sleeper.
Yeah.
Sucker for an Auto Sleeper Nuevo.
I'm a big fan of an AutoTrail, I'll be honest with you.
I was very lucky with a couple of those AutoTrails. If you wanted me to waffle on, I went down to go and get a AutoTrail Comanche, which usually would be a tag axle rear island bed and would only be a 2 travel. I found a Highline Comanche automatic 4 travel 6 berth, and I was blown away. I was so happy. But on the way out, there was two brothers, and they had quite a big estate. I said, "What's that in the corner over there?" And that was the other brother's AutoTrail Chieftain, which was another Highline transverse bed, 6 berth, 4 travel. And I was like, there was 2 in one place, and it was just amazing because you just don't find the rocking horse.
Yeah.
So
Especially the six berths.
Highline and the travelling seats. It was just it was a good find, really good find.
Just very quickly, Jason, I managed to read the Martin comment correctly.
Oh right, okay.
No, the front.
No, he just put it out wrongly.
Oh, wrongly.
You read it right. No, so the 690 doesn't convert into a double bed at the front.
That's what I was trying to say.
You're bringing the name Jason to shame.
Jason, do you prefer buying or selling?
Do I prefer buying or selling? To be honest with you, I have as much fun with both. I love meeting people. As you can gather, I like having a laugh and a giggle. And I've had 5-star reviews with buying and 5-star reviews with selling. I won't sell anything to anyone unless I think it's right for them. And at the same time, with the buying side of things, I will walk away from something, but I will still shake their hand. They will still be happy. But yeah, I like both sides. I must admit, I prefer being out buying during the week and come to the weekend. My role is to help out the sales guys in the showroom at the weekend, and I'm quite happy winding them up all day long. The other salesmen, it's great fun. Literally, great fun.
And I guess once you've been out and bought it in the first place, when it comes to selling, you should already know that model quite well, which helps.
Yeah, I mean, of course. Yeah, of course. But you got to remember, yes, of course. But you got to remember sometimes when I'm out the office 3-4 days a week, there are other vans coming in, not just via me. And it is trying to keep up because I've got up to 130 in stock at any one time. I have between 30 and 50 going out per month. And sometimes I'm asked a question by the director, what about this, and this? And I'm like, don't know, because I can't keep up. You have to forgive me. My throat's gone dry. Anyway.
Biggest gripe about motorhomes?
When they decide to have a sneezing fit, when you've had everything checked, everything's tickety-boo, habitation's all ticked off, everything's wonderful, and they go up the road and something doesn't work. That's a big bugbear. But then I used to have that with 4x4s. Literally, a management light would come on, and there was nothing wrong with it. For 2 weeks, we had it in stock.
So do you think you're committed to the job?
Bloody love it.
Not as committed as this guy. After the war ended, a Japanese soldier, Hirod Onoda, right? He was stationed in the Philippines, right?
With one leg and one arm.
No. He hid out fully armed till 1974. Then he was found, and he still refused to surrender. Right? What they had to do is they had to fly out his commanding officer to convince him. That's commitment.
I actually heard that a few years ago. Yeah, it's another true story.
Full of them tonight.
Yeah, just swerved straight off the motorhomes, but there you go.
What's your best pound for pound?
What's your best pound for pound? How'd you answer that? What? How many pounds? How many pounds? Pound for pound.
Hey, Shane made the answer question up, so don't be blaming me.
I've got to get the directions right.
It's the camera, isn't it?
I know everything's back to front, even me. And I will point out one quick thing. I've only had a second drink tonight. I haven't had a drink all day whilst everyone's been barbecuing and having fun. Apart from that, pound for pound, I love the Lifestyle 696. I just love it. I just think it works. Great value around the early 40s, late 30s. But then that's quite an expensive pound. You know, there's different values of different things and what everything likes. It works for me purely because of my family. What about you, Lee? Let's bring you into it. What's your best pound for pound motorhome?
See, I look at them in a different way to you guys.
What, like
I
that?
look, yeah,
What, like that?
yeah, I am normally on my side underneath a bed or something like that.
I think Lee, probably what you look for is accessibility.
Yeah, it's a big thing for me is seeing. I mean, I serviced
Always helps when
an
you're driving,
auto
doesn't it?
trailer before the lockdown, which the minute I walked into the van, I looked around and thought, I like this layout. This would suit me perfectly. But yeah, that's one thing I look for more is accessibility and how you can get at things.
Yeah.
For two people, pound for pound, just one last answer. I'm going to go auto sleep at Nuevo. I absolutely love the quality of the interior, and I think it's a sensibly priced vehicle, second-hand. There you go.
That's a good shout.
Really lovely
Yeah.
interior, the
That's a
auto
good
sleep at Nuevo.
Yeah.
It's took 1 hour and 51 minutes
And it's been fun.
to get that. I have brought 2 cars from you, Jason. Both were excellent.
Ah, that's really not. That is wonderful to hear.
It is.
Wow, thank you very much, Lee and Laurie. I've
I
sold a
thought
lot
you
of
was on
cars.
about me.
No,
Yeah.
Jason. Number one. No, I've sold many vehicles, and you know, I will. If any other customers were to come on, they'll tell you that it's always a fun experience rather than hard nosed and pushy.
It makes it worthwhile when you get a comment like that, doesn't it?
It does, and I take that and I embrace that with both arms, literally, because yeah, it's nice to get feedback every now and then. It really is. As I said earlier, I would never sell anything to anyone unless it was right. And if they're still persistent on buying it, I blatantly tell them I think you're buying the wrong vehicle. I've done it. I've done it many a time. And I've had one customer that's come back to me 2 weeks later and shook my hand and said, I'm ever so sorry. You were right. Can I change the vehicle? I'm like, okay, yeah.
We've got to ask you,
What?
how do you see the market? What's going to happen?
Oh, look, I think there's too much doom and gloom about everything. I know we're in a really, really bad time, grey area, the whole shebang. And I try to understand as much as I can. But there's one thing about anyone that works with me, around me, the business, we're enthusiastic about getting back to work. You know, I'm hopeful of a great start. I know it's going to be. I really know I know it's going to take a few months. I know it's going to take maybe up to 6 months, but I'm going to go to work with a kick in my heel and just basically be ready to help anyone coming through. I'll probably have a lot more time to be able to spend with people when we get the green light. We will still have protocols in place. I mean, we're pretty good anyway. We've got a way that we will vet people as such, because you can imagine. I don't know if you've been down to our site or any of you guys have. I know Shane has. We can get so busy. We can end up. I've got weekends where I've got 4 to 5 salespeople active and ready to help. But sometimes in the past, we've had people that are on their weekend or their day out. They're not interested in buying, but they're just basically getting an idea. But it's a day out for them, and they've brought the dog. We've got 11 acres at site, so they love it because they can send the dog off, and they bring Doris. But we will vet our customers. We will go through certain protocols, but it's even with this with the scenario we're going through at the moment. We're actually quite good because we were kind of more or less set up before this outbreak, because every single one of my salesman's desks has antibacterial gel, because I got fed up with the amount of people that used to come in with full-blown colds and want to chat and shake your hand and give you a cuddle and go around looking at vehicles. I'm like, seriously, could you not have stayed in bed? So I actually put in place hand gels, all this, everything else, and keeping everything clean, door handles, everything, the desks, the tops. I mean, every couple of hours in my office before this outbreak, I go around with antibacterial spray, doing all the chair arms and everything else. I just kept everything clean. And especially when you shake your people's hands, I was always putting my stuff on because I got fed up with getting colds because I end up meeting so many people. But you've got to imagine on a Saturday. All right, I'll give this back to you, Jason. On a Saturday, how many people do you reckon you get coming in to see you and talk about motorhomes or potentially sell it, buying a motorhome? But how many people footfall do you reckon you get on a Saturday?
I won't even be in your league, to be honest. Probably
No,
about half a dozen.
About half a dozen. I've got
Jason doesn't
half
work
a dozen.
Saturdays.
Jason doesn't work Saturdays. That's mainly.
Why do you add Saturdays onto that?
Well, I don't. Oh, Jason, you're getting it from the pair of them. I'll back you up, Shane. Right, Jason. Right, you'll have half a dozen on a Saturday. Yeah. Now you still got quite a few motorhomes in stock, haven't you? Yeah. You've not got 2 or 3. You've got quite a few.
Yeah.
I will have 6 people per half an hour. Now I will easily end up with 60 to 80 sets of people that are within reason wanting answers. We can't do it. We can't keep up the speed with all, because I can't have 20 salesmen just ready to go around doing as much as they can for everyone. Of course, we would love to be able to do that, but we have a vetting system where we ask the customer to come in, sit down with us for literally 5 minutes. We will go through a sheet, literally like this. I'm going to show you all of it because you want to know. But basically, we'll take all their details. We will take their details down to their mobile number and an email, vehicle of interest, their budget, and what they want to use it for. How many travelling seats do they need? How many people are using it? And basically, what it does, it shortens the scope of what they need to see. They don't need to go out and see over 100 motorhomes because I have not got the staff to be able to do that. I just haven't. So we have a vetting system, which is quite good because we can put everything in place when everything starts to go back and everyone starts to go back to work. And we will have protocols put in place for cleaning stations, which we've already got. We've had them all for a while, but we will have them spread out all over the place. And we will have people to attend, open up, spray the door handles, everything else, but they can be left alone. But they will only be left alone to a certain few of motorhomes. They're not going to be left alone to go and see 100, 120 vans, whatever. They might have a certain budget. They only need certain travelling seats and they only need the berth. So I might only have 4. I might only have 6. I might only have 1. So then it's broken it down to actually helping that customer, understanding that we're helping that customer, because sometimes we get customers come in and say, I would like to wander around over 100 vans for the sake of it. I just can't do it because I keep everything locked. Everything's locked because there's certain few broke it for the many. We've got too much damaged stuff, broken windows. But the director caught a woman thumping a window in the kitchen area, and she cracked the glass. She cracked the perspex. 400 quid, 500 quid. I can't remember how much the window was again then. And actually, and her husband turned around and said, "Well, it's your fault." It just So we've got things in place. We've got everything, all the stations, all the cleaning stations, everything's in place. But we've got a vetting system that works and worked before the COVID-19 outbreak. So it's going to work for when we slowly get back to work as well. So we've already got in practice. We're used to using this system. It's been in place for a good couple of years. So it's actually going to be quite easy for us to accommodate people now anyway. We're used to it.
Just catch up on the comments. Can you get a motorbike on any of the motorhomes in the 25k range?
Depends if they can get a tow bar set on it.
Lee?
Not every motorhome you can have a tow bar set up, can you?
No. It depends on how big a bike. I mean, looking at the picture, it's not a particularly big bike. I mean, what's in the 25k range? That's more something that you guys would know. You know, what's got a decent sized garage on it that you may be able to get something like that in. Looking at the picture, it's only just sort of bigger than.
Yeah,
it doesn't look a particularly big bike.
It's difficult. It depends on the size of it or the weight on it. Well, size and weight to how big the garage is and the payload. but you might even have to look at something like a specialist race
Like
truck,
trailer.
or
You get the P-Lot
go
with
down
the
the
big
trailer.
garages on that price range, can't you? Just put a ramp. You can take the front wheel off most of these bikes, and actually that brings the loading space for the rear garage a lot better. You can get scooters in them quite a lot, mopeds. I haven't seen the picture of the bike, so I'm just trying to help.
I
Yeah.
think AutoTrail have got it right when it comes to TV location.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What, with the
Totally
slide
fine.
out? When they're on the brackets, they're in a cupboard.
no,
They come out.
well, depending on the age, they tend to have the plastic molding in like the bedroom area. If you think about your
Oh, right,
Comanche,
yeah.
you've got yeah. So if you're sat on the
Sorry.
island bed to the left hand side, you've got that plastic mold in the aerial, and the same.
And the AutoTrails have the TVs that come down from the front cab above the driver and passengers.
the SE
setup.
packs, yeah.
Here's one for you, Jason. The reason I'm thinking about a burster is because I have a 16-year-old Porsche and it's still going strong.
Oh, you got a lovely car as well. Yeah. I mean, look, the Burstner range, depending on what you wanted to spend, but my favourite one, the XO728G, is good. But you have a 16-year-old Porsche. Wouldn't that be great if you could actually trailer that behind a motorhome as well and go off touring? Awesome.
Lee, just why people are not using the vans, or if they parked up outside their house, is there just any basic jobs, just anything to keep on top? What should they be doing?
Say that again. Sorry, you broke up on that.
Because we're not using the Motorhomes, people who've got them in the drive or basically they parked on the road by them, is there just any jobs they should be doing just to keep them in tip-top shape?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I said, drain your systems off. It'd now be a really good time to freshen up your waste tanks. Put something in it and clean the waste tank system out. Move the van around slightly so that it's not sat on the wheels in one place for a while. But the biggest one will be maintain your batteries. Don't just leave it on the drive and leave it not plugged in or anything for weeks and weeks and weeks. Plug it in once a week and give it a day's charge or something like that, just to keep the battery topped up. And yeah, that biggest one really is going to be, maintaining the battery so that when you do come to get it back out, it doesn't let you down.
I always think a good one to do as well is clean all the rubbers around the windows.
Especially if it's going to be sat in the sun a lot, open up the windows. Together. Yeah, and spray some silicone spray on them. Spray all the window rubbers with some silicone spray. Do all your door seals, your locker door seals. Get some silicone spray on them so that they're not sticking and easy to use when you do get back out with them. Yeah,
just keep it on top of them. It's like you say, especially.
Yeah. I saw a comment earlier on. Someone mentioned cleaning the windows and trying to get marks out of the windows. There's a great product called Vuplex that you can get for cleaning acrylic windows. It's really good stuff. So that's something to maybe give a try.
Anything you want to throw at him, Jason?
No, it's all good, really. Enjoyed my time this evening, that's for sure. Hasn't 2 hours gone quick? 2 hours and 4 minutes.
Doesn't it go quick, eh?
It does.
So, do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, just to very quickly finishing with that. If you just scroll down to the next comment, Jason.
Sky blue.
Yeah, that's the bike. 235 kilograms. I don't think that's too bad in weight, is it? Really?
I can't see it. I don't know why.
It's right below you, Jason.
Oh, got it right. Sorry. Hang on.
Yeah.
Click on it.
235 kilograms for the bike. I think the best
quite
thing
heavy.
I'd look. Yeah, I think the best thing I'd do is look at something on a Mercedes or Ford. That's the best advice I can give you. And then
100%, but you'd want to trailer that. You wouldn't want to put that. You'd be over your payload, wouldn't you, if you were?
Yeah, it's something that size. I'd be putting it on a trailer.
100%. It's a really nice bike as well. You'd want to be ensuring that safely fixed to the back of a motorhome, wouldn't you? So yeah, trailer. 100%.
Trying to push 200 kilos into the side of a motorhome could end up going badly wrong.
Yeah, especially with Doris around your ankles.
Jace, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Do you know what,
Really
guys?
enjoyed it.
I've got all the time in the world for you guys. I really have. I enjoy this. Very apprehensive about doing it because I'm not very good in things in this like this. But thank you. I appreciate it. I'm very positive about getting on with everything in the workplace and lifestyle. And I hope everyone embraces that when they get slowly back to work and don't go back too nervous. Just, be safe and get on with it.
Just a quick shade. Do you want to mention about the next shows, what we're doing?
Yeah, okay. So what we're doing from now on is we're making it a regular slot because we have been a bit all over the place with these shows, haven't we? But we're going to make it a Sunday at 7 p.m. I think that's going to be the best time where everybody's going to be in.
The reason we're probably looking at that is towards as well when we start to go back to work as well, isn't it, Shane? Really?
Yeah. Because it does take a lot of time to get these together. To be fair, more than you probably realise. So yeah, not this Sunday, not in 3 days, 2 days. Oh, I don't know what day it is. That'll probably be a first Friday. Yeah, not in 2 days. A week on Sunday.
Yeah, we could.
A week on Sunday.
We might be a bit spontaneous and throw the odd live one out here and there as well, might we? Just jump and just roll with it. Just me and you, Shane, isn't it? Just chatting. We're going to be every Sunday. We're going to get Lee. You're going to be on giving more advice.
Yeah, no problem at all.
So,
look forward to it.
But Jace, it's been an absolute pleasure. Absolute brilliant. Would you come on again, Jace?
I'll come on again if I could try and pick your nose. Now, one thing we have to get sorted is what was the American show where they started off the beginning of the program of the show and everyone was in a square and they were looking down at them and looking up at them. We've got to name that show. And maybe the viewers might come up with it.
If you can come out, whoever gets the right answer, Jason's knocking £12,000 off any motorhome under 15 grand.
Yeah, I think Jason and Shane are buying them a bottle of gin. And we need to get the gin manufacturers out there to sponsor us. We can have a little tipple.
Yeah,
why not? Could be whiskey
guys, thanks a lot for everybody watching out. Brilliant. Look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks very much. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.